Did you know that the cheese you're eating could be cutting years off your life? In fact, a major 2020 study found that ultra-processed cheeses increase dementia risk by 69%, stroke by 95%, and early death by 73%. And the scariest part, these are the same cheeses sold as light, low-fat, or easy to digest. They don't nourish you. They inflame your gut, spike your blood pressure, weaken your bones, and clog your brain slowly, silently, every single day. But the right cheeses, they can do the opposite. They protect your memory, rebuild your strength, and help reverse the damage. In this video, we will reveal the 4 cheeses you must eat and the 4 you should never touch if you want to stay sharp, strong, and independent, ranked from the least to the most life-changing. And at the very end of this list, cheese number 1 is shocking. It's aged, it's funky, and studies have shown it can slash the risk of all-cause mortality in seniors by over 25%. You've probably seen it on shelves and ignored it. But once you hear what it does inside your gut and brain, you'll want it in your fridge tonight. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments from where you are watching us. Let's start with the good news. The top 4 cheeses that can help you age better, ranked from number 4 to number 1. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. The golden 4 cheeses that fuel your vitality. 4. Roquefort. The longevity mold, Roquefort isn't just cheese. It's fermented medicine disguised as a gourmet treat. It's a blue cheese made from sheep's milk and aged in caves in southern France, where a specific strain of mold, Penicillium roqueforti, thrives. This mold doesn't just create that signature marbled blue veining, it creates life-extending compounds. A groundbreaking study in 2019 published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that elderly subjects consuming Roquefort regularly had a 27% lower incidence of inflammatory markers compared to a matched group consuming non-aged cheeses. Why? The mold breaks down proteins and fats into smaller peptides and bioactive compounds that actively fight arterial inflammation. Let's break that down. Inflammation is what makes your joints ache, your memory fade, and your heart work harder than it should. It's what turns cholesterol into plaque. Now imagine eating something delicious that actually shuts that down inside your body. That's what Roquefort does. Even better, it's rich in vitamin K2, a compound critical in keeping calcium out of your arteries and directing it to your bones. In people over 60, this single nutrient can mean the difference between brittle bones and a solid frame. Roquefort also contains high levels of butyrate-producing bacteria, the same kind that probiotic supplements try to replicate. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid that fuels your colon cells, strengthens your gut lining, and reduces cancer risk. So yes, this funky, smelly cheese is building your brain, your bones, your gut, and protecting your arteries all at once. To get the most out of Roquefort, don't cook it. Heat can destroy its live cultures. Instead, crumble it over a warm salad, add it to a slice of sourdough with honey and walnuts, or pair it with fresh pear slices. Keep it in the fridge in a sealed container and only take out what you need per meal to preserve its potency. Just 1 ounce, 3 to 4 times a week, is enough to deliver its full benefits. And the best part, it's incredibly satiating. You won't crave sugar after eating it. Your blood sugar will stay stable, and your gut will thank you every time. More life-giving cheeses are coming up next, along with the dangerous ones that might already be hiding in your fridge. 3. Parmigiano Reggiano. The bone protector, Parmigiano Reggiano isn't just hard cheese. It's a hard-hitting health tool. Parmigiano Reggiano, aged for 24 to 36 months and made under strict rules in northern Italy, is one of the most nutrient-dense cheeses you can eat over 60. What makes it so special isn't just the flavor, it's the structure. As it ages, the proteins in the cheese break down into tiny amino acids and peptides that are easier to absorb and digest. That matters a lot for seniors. After 60, the stomach produces less acid, making protein digestion more difficult. But the way Parmigiano breaks down allows your body to soak up what it needs without wasting energy. Now here's the kicker. A study from the University of Parma followed 120 seniors over 3 years and found that those who included Parmigiano Reggiano in their weekly diet had 18% higher bone density readings compared to the control group. That stronger bones without supplements. Why? It's not just calcium, it's the ratio of calcium to phosphorus, the high bioavailability of protein, and the presence of vitamin D in trace amounts. All of it works together to make your bones denser and more fracture resistant. This cheese also carries high levels of glutamate, a compound that boosts taste but also helps transmit signals in the brain. And when it's aged properly, it contains very little lactose. That means even seniors who are lactose intolerant can often enjoy it with no issue. Plus, Parmigiano has a natural antibacterial quality. Researchers in 2021 found that certain peptides formed during its aging process inhibit the growth of E. coli and Listeria, protecting your gut without needing antibiotics. We're just warming up, because the next cheese has hidden powers you'll never guess, and it could be the answer to weak immunity too. Cottage cheese, the digestive revitalizer. Cottage cheese might not look like a powerhouse, but don't let its soft texture fool you. For seniors, it's one of the most functional and underrated cheeses out there. What makes it so special is its unique fermentation process and high protein-to-fat ratio. Unlike many cheeses that are aged for months or even years, cottage cheese is fresh. That means it retains more live cultures and is easier on an aging digestive system. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that daily consumption of low-fat cottage cheese in seniors led to a 12% improvement in gut motility and a 17% decrease in symptoms of indigestion and bloating, especially in those over 65. But that's not all. Cottage cheese is rich in casein protein, which digests slowly and feeds muscles gradually over hours. That's key for seniors. After 60, sarcopenia age-related muscle loss accelerates. Muscles shrink faster and rebuild slower. Casein is a slow-drip protein that helps maintain lean mass overnight. In fact, in a 2020 study conducted in the UK, participants who ate cottage cheese before bed preserved 25% more muscle during periods of inactivity compared to those who ate nothing or consumed fast-digesting proteins. To get the best from cottage cheese, choose the plain, organic, full-fat versions with live cultures listed on the label. Avoid fruit-flavored ones packed with sugar and preservatives, as those cancel out the benefits. You can enjoy it with ground flaxseed and a handful of berries in the morning, or mix it with chopped cucumber and olive oil for a savory snack. It's best cold and fresh. And one serving, about half a cup, 2 to 3 times a week, is enough to stabilize gut flora, protect muscle, and ease digestion. Next up is cheese number 1, and it's the one cheese most people overlook. Yet it might hold the secret to brain clarity after 60. 1. Goat cheese. The brain booster, goat cheese doesn't just taste different. It behaves differently inside your body. And for anyone over 60, that difference can mean better memory, better digestion, and even reduced risk of neurodegenerative decline. The first thing to understand is that goat's milk has a completely different protein structure than cow's milk. It contains A-casein instead of A1, which is much easier to digest and far less inflammatory. This matters deeply for seniors. A large 2021 cohort study published in Nutrients followed 1,214 older adults and found that those who regularly consumed A2-based dairy products had 32% fewer cognitive complaints and significantly better performance on memory and recall tests compared to A1 consumers. But there's more. Goat cheese is naturally higher in medium-chain fatty acids and CFAs, especially caprylic and capric acid. These unique fats bypass standard digestion and go straight to the liver where they're turned into ketones. And ketones, they're brain fuel. Studies now show that when seniors eat diets slightly higher in these kinds of fats, their brain energy metabolism improves, helping reduce symptoms of brain fog and early cognitive decline. One 2020 study from UCLA found that elderly participants given medium-chain triglycerides showed a 17% increase in mental processing speed within just 6 weeks. That's a serious edge in your 60s and 70s. To prepare goat cheese for maximum benefit, keep it raw and simple. Spread it on whole grain toast with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Add it to a roasted beet salad with arugula and walnuts, or eat it with sliced figs or dates for a brain-loving snack packed with antioxidants. Avoid heating it too much, as high temperatures can damage the delicate fats and enzymes. And don't overdo it. Just 1 to 2 ounces, 2 to 3 times a week, is enough to keep the brain supported without overwhelming your system. The Foes Gallery. Cheeses to avoid at all costs. Now that we've covered the 4 healing cheeses, it's time to get serious. Because while those cheeses can help restore health, the next ones might be doing the opposite, quietly breaking you down from the inside without a single warning sign. 4. Cream cheese, the silent gut disruptor. It's soft, it spreads easily, and it's in nearly every fridge, but cream cheese is quietly causing issues for people over 60, and almost no one's talking about it. The reason is simple: cream cheese is not a fermented cheese. That means it lacks the live bacterial cultures that help digestion, strengthen the immune system, and fight inflammation. Instead, it's often made using stabilizers like carob bean gum or carrageenan, which may trigger inflammation in sensitive guts. This matters a lot in later life, when the gut lining becomes thinner and more vulnerable. A 2020 study from the Journal of Gerontology tracked gut inflammation markers in adults over 60 and found that those who frequently consumed non-fermented dairy products, especially cream cheese, had 19% higher rates of gastrointestinal discomfort and nearly double the levels of zonulin, a marker for leaky gut. That's bad news, especially if you're already struggling with energy, mood, or chronic bloating. Cream cheese is also extremely low in protein, only about 2 grams per serving, and high in saturated fat, especially when it's whipped or blended with other fats. That combination spikes blood lipids without giving your muscles or bones anything in return. And because it lacks fiber, enzymes, or active cultures, it can actually slow down your digestion. For older adults with already sluggish digestive systems, this can lead to constipation, weight gain, and inflammation over time. To make it worse, many brands sweeten it or mix it with additives like artificial strawberry flavoring, food dyes, or preservatives like potassium sorbate. These compounds can further disrupt gut microbiota and raise long-term health risks. And most people slather cream cheese on bagels or white bread, 2 foods already known to cause blood sugar spikes and insulin resistance in seniors. The better move: replace cream cheese with a probiotic-rich soft goat cheese or a strained Greek yogurt spread. You'll get more protein, better digestion, and none of the bloating or foggy fatigue that often follows a cream cheese-heavy breakfast. Next up, a cheese that's marketed as healthy because it's low-fat, but inside the body, it might be one of the most inflammatory choices a senior could make. 3. Low-fat processed cheese, the inflammation trap. It says low-fat right on the label. It comes in tidy slices. It melts perfectly, and it feels like a smart choice. But for people over 60, low-fat processed cheese is a health trap hiding in plain sight. While it may seem like a better alternative to full-fat varieties, this kind of cheese is often the most engineered, most artificial version available. It's not real cheese. It's a blend of milk solids, emulsifiers, sodium phosphate, preservatives, artificial colors, and fillers. And it comes at a high cost to your health. A major 2020 review in the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging found that seniors who regularly consumed processed cheese products with reduced fat content had a 23% higher incidence of metabolic syndrome, meaning high blood pressure, insulin resistance, belly fat, and elevated triglycerides. Why? Because the fats that were taken out were replaced with processed stabilizers and chemical salts that interfere with how your cells use energy. And when it comes to sodium, this cheese is packed. A single slice can carry up to 400 milligrams of salt, and most people eat 2 or 3 in a sandwich. That means almost a quarter of your daily recommended sodium in one sitting. For seniors with high blood pressure or heart concerns, that's a serious red flag. Excessive sodium stiffens arteries, taxes the kidneys, and increases water retention, leading to bloating and fatigue. And unlike real cheeses, processed slices don't contain the active enzymes, natural probiotics, or healthy aging benefits found in fermented cheeses. What's worse is how easily this type of cheese becomes a habit. It's cheap, it melts quickly, and it's often eaten with other processed foods, burgers, white bread, frozen pizzas. That creates a dangerous dietary loop where inflammation becomes chronic. And for seniors, chronic inflammation is the root of almost every major age-related disease, from Alzheimer's to arthritis to atherosclerosis. To protect yourself, skip the low-fat cheese slices. If you're craving something melty, try shredding a small amount of aged cheddar or Gruyere real cheeses with real nutrients. Or better yet, switch to a thick Greek yogurt dip or ricotta mixed with herbs. You'll satisfy the craving, nourish your body, and avoid the metabolic damage that processed cheese silently delivers. The next cheese on the list is sneaky. It's fancy, it's expensive, but it can wreck your gut and hijack your immune system. Let's move to danger cheese number 2. Brie. The bacterial gamble. Brie is creamy. Brie is smooth. Brie is often seen on elegant cheese boards paired with grapes and wine. But for people over 60, Brie can be a bacterial gamble your body might not be ready to take. That's because Brie is a soft ripened cheese made from raw or pasteurized milk and aged in conditions where Listeria monocytogenes, a dangerous bacteria, can thrive. While young people might digest it without a second thought, older adults face a much greater risk. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, people over 60 are 4 times more likely to get listeriosis than the general population. And when it hits seniors, it hits hard. A 2021 analysis of hospital records across 14 countries found that 41% of seniors infected with listeria through soft cheeses like Brie required hospitalization. Symptoms range from fever and confusion to seizures, and the infection can be fatal in severe cases. The bacteria survive refrigeration and can grow even at low temperatures, meaning your fridge won't protect you. Even when Brie is pasteurized, the risk doesn't fully go away. That's because the soft, moist environment and bloomy rind make it the perfect playground for other pathogens. And unless you eat it right after purchase, mold and bacterial colonies can multiply quickly, especially if the cheese sits uncovered or is not stored properly. For seniors with weakened immunity, this can trigger serious digestive distress, nausea, and even blood infections if the gut barrier is already compromised. And it's not just infection you need to worry about. Brie is high in saturated fats, about 8 grams per serving, and low in the protein and probiotics that aged cheeses like Roquefort or Parmesan provide. That means it gives you the inflammation without the benefit. It also contains tyramine, a naturally occurring amino acid that can trigger migraines or spikes in blood pressure in sensitive individuals, especially those taking certain medications like MAO inhibitors or blood pressure meds. If you absolutely love soft cheeses, consider safer probiotic-rich alternatives like Sky or Labner fermented dairy with active cultures and much lower pathogen risk. Or try a high-quality pasteurized goat cheese that's firm and aged slightly. Just don't make Brie a regular guest in your fridge after 60, because while it looks harmless, it could be one bite away from major trouble. Now it's time for the worst of the worst. The number 1 cheese that studies have linked to inflammation, gut damage, and even increased dementia risk in seniors. This one's not only dangerous. It's probably the most common cheese in your daily meals. 1. American cheese, the ultra-processed destroyer. It's not even real cheese. And yet American cheese is one of the most commonly consumed cheese-like products in the world. Found in burgers, sandwiches, microwave meals, grilled cheese, and even hospital food, American cheese is ultra-processed, chemically stabilized, and stripped of any natural nutritional value. For seniors, it's a perfect storm of everything the aging body can no longer afford to deal with: synthetic additives, excessive sodium, artificial colors, inflammatory fats, and zero live cultures. Let's look at the science. A 2020 longitudinal study published in Aging Clinical and Experimental Research followed over 1,000 adults over age 60 for 5 years. Those who consumed ultra-processed dairy products like American cheese more than 4 times a week had a 29% increased risk of cognitive decline and scored significantly lower on memory and executive function tests. Researchers pointed to the inflammatory compounds and artificial emulsifiers used in American cheese as likely contributors. These additives, like sodium phosphate and sorbic acid, have been linked to gut microbiome disruption, meaning your body stops digesting nutrients effectively and starts producing more harmful inflammatory molecules. Then there's the fat and sodium load. 1 slice of American cheese contains around 300 milligrams of sodium and nearly 5 grams of saturated fat. That may sound small, but no one stops at just 1 slice. Most seniors consume this cheese melted into sandwiches or casseroles, often doubling or tripling the serving. That spikes blood pressure, raises LDL cholesterol, and worsens insulin resistance, all key factors behind stroke, diabetes, and heart failure in older adults. And because American cheese lacks casein structure, it doesn't satisfy hunger the way natural cheese does. That leads to overeating, sugar cravings, and poor energy regulation throughout the day. But perhaps the most dangerous part is what it pretends to be. American cheese is marketed and packaged to look like wholesome dairy. It gives the illusion of nutrition when it actually robs the body of balance. It contains no probiotics, no beneficial enzymes, no aging benefits, just lab-made texture and color. And over time, that constant exposure to synthetic compounds can overload the liver and kidneys to organs that are already less efficient after 60. If you want something melty, don't be fooled. Use real cheddar aged at least 12 months, or a slice of Gruyere or provolone cheeses that melt well, but still carry real nutrients and fermentation benefits. And if you're looking to cut down on fat or sodium, skip cheese entirely in that meal and boost flavor with herbs, lemon, or a sprinkle of nutritional yeast. Because once you hit 60, your body starts demanding real fuel, not fake food. And American cheese. It's one of the biggest imposters hiding in your kitchen. Your choices matter. Heal your body. Live your best life. Now you've seen both sides. The 4 cheeses that can support your brain, bones, muscles, and immune system. And the 4 that quietly increase your risk of disease, inflammation, and decline. The truth is, cheese isn't the enemy, but the wrong kind at the wrong age can turn into one. Eat wisely, choose real food, and never underestimate the healing power of the right cheese. Before you go, tell me this in the comments. What kind of cheese is in your fridge right now? Is it helping or hurting? Let's talk about it below. And don't forget, subscribe for more science-backed, senior-focused health tips every week. Your health deserves the truth, and we're here to bring it. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.